Emily Bosson on the Inside Word, brought to you by Westbury Stud. Bruce Slade is our guest this week. The Kiwi expat has some exciting things on the horizon after announcing he is launching his own bloodstock agency in Kestrel Thoroughbreds. Bruce, I guess we'll start things off by saying congratulations on the new venture.
Yeah, thank you, Emily. Just really exciting for myself and the family. Really thankful to Henry Field and Newgate Farm for allowing me to spread my wings and start my own business. But at the same time, they're supporting me there all the way, and I'll still be very heavily involved in Newgate as their director of stallions. But we'll be relocating to the Gold Coast with the family, which we're excited about. It's a place where we feel we can lead a really happy and healthy life, and with that, I'll have some autonomy around my time and be able to spend it in more of the places I enjoy in the thoroughbred industry.
Tell me a little bit about Kestrel Thoroughbreds and what you do enjoy doing and what you plan to do under that brand.
I suppose my key areas, my skill set's not very vast. It's very narrow, and that is basically just around communication and adding values to customers, and that whether that be breeders who buy stallion nominations or racehorse owners who have shares in horses with trainers. So essentially my strong belief here is that you've got to have a really long-term view in this process, and if you look after your clients very well, you have their best interests at heart, you communicate with them regularly and very accurately, then you lead to a engaged client base. You start to form a bit of a community of people and a culture around it that everyone's there to support each other, and on the back of that comes sales, and sales is almost a derivative of just terrific client and customer service. So that's really where I sort of see I can add a lot of value, and certainly it's something we try and improve each year at Newgate, and we've got some terrific support base there, and I'll just be teaming up with Toby and Trent Edmonds on the Gold Coast too, who are a training partnership I have a lot of time for. A stable with a very high strike rate, a stable that 5 years ago trained 44 winners, and last year they trained 110, and they've almost 10 times their 10x'd their stakes winners in that time too. So stable on the up that has grown quickly, and hopefully I'm going to be able to help them with their customer service element of their business. I suppose the other side of it is just trying to add value, Emily, around where can we help. I think another area where we have in the game currently is and it's based around sales, and there's a lot of pressure around trainers having to go to market to buy horses. Most of the time they are putting it on finance and then working hard to try and sell them afterwards, and my aim is to try and reduce stress, reduce pressure, have more enjoyment in the game, let trainers concentrate on training their horses, and if I can be a help in helping pre-raise money around key messages heading into sales seasons, I think all those little steps can help trainers or breeders or studs or whoever it might be in that area as well.
It sounds like it's something that you've thought about for a long time. Is it been hard to make that decision to go out on your own?
Yeah, I mean, the hardest thing about going on your own is security and money, I suppose. I've got two young kids, a 3.5-year-old son called MacArthur and a 8-month-old son called Rhodes, and a beautiful wife, Natasha, and obviously you take a few steps back financially in the short term to try and I suppose make the most of this one life we're given, and take risks and have no regrets and do more of what you love in our short time on earth. So I suppose at some point through a lot of maybe manifesting and reading too many personal growth books, you sort of say to yourself, yep, I'm going to take the jump, and hopefully the fall's not too hard, you know.
And what has the response been like? You've taken the jump. Have you been pleased with the response you've got since you announced Kestrel Thoroughbreds?
Yeah, I've been, really pleased. You know, everyone's, extremely kind towards me. I think we all have empathy for each other around, how hard, the game is, and anyone who runs their own business across all industries understands the challenges and that kind of thing. So everyone's been extremely kind. Like I say, I'm so very lucky to be going out with Newgate supporting me all the way, and Toby and Trent Edmonds and Edmonds Racing supporting me all the way. So I've got two nice sort of foundations to build off, and now it's just about, really doing a great job for them, and then seeing what opportunities present themselves going forward. And I suppose that ties into the name Kestrel. Emily Kestrel, they're it's obviously a falcon. They're from the falcon species. We have a lot of them in the Hunter Valley here, where I've lived the last 5 years in Scone. They sort of, they are those falcons that you see that sort of hang in the air and fly into the wind and just hover above and have a great perspective on the world, and when opportunities present, they take them. So it's sort of tying to that sort of, I've sort of must see 10 or 20 kestrels a day, Emily, so it's sort of become a bit of an obsession, and hence the name sort of come from there. I've always been fascinated by them, and I just like the view of the world they have, I suppose.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It was actually one of my questions, how did you get the name? So you answered that for me, that's great. Those relationships that you speak of, Toby and Trent Edmonds, and also Newgate, first of all, tell me how it's going to work with Newgate and Kestrel Thoroughbreds, because they're really going to complement each other, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%. I suppose, the busiest times, I suppose for both businesses, there is, just constant servicing and communicating with clients, and that happens for the 12 months of the year, and that's very processed and, very much part of the process and can be systemized, so that's fine, and that should almost run itself, with me, allocating time each day to make sure I get on the phones and tick the boxes, and that's in those areas, and then obviously the high pressure times of year for both businesses. For Toby, it'll be around sales times from January through to probably from December, when you're pre-raising syndicates, etc., from sort of middle of November through to April each year. And with Newgate, obviously, I'll be very much on the stallion side of the business, so we'll be acquiring stallions, syndicating them, and then selling nominations, and the bulk of that work will be done from May onwards, so from May sort of through November. So hopefully that should, for the really busy periods, I'll be looking to spend 2/3 to 3/4 of my time on the businesses that are in their peak times, and vice versa, and it'll flip around. So I can sort of see overall a third of my time will be spent with doing Newgate things, a third of my time doing Edmonds Racing things, and a third of my time working on my own trade portfolio, working on new ideas, exploring opportunities, that kind of thing.
Tell me, what does a typical day look like for you at the moment? I guess gearing up for perhaps the Magic Millions sale?
Yeah, so a typical day for me, and I will plug a book here. It's called The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. I think it's a must-read for absolutely everyone that tries to get the most out of each day and their lives. It's basically around how you set your day up from an early start. You work through 60 minutes in 3 20-minute intervals around exercise and meditation and gratitude and really planning your day and manifesting. And that sets up each day for me, Emily, essentially. Spend some time with the family after that for around breakfast, and then roll into the day, and then really structuring my day around, prioritizing what we need to, what's important, and getting that done first, and then basically splitting my day up into blocks of 2 hours with half an hour gaps in between to refresh and recalibrate and go again, so as you can see, this is a little bit of an experiment on myself to see how productive I can be and try and get the most out of each day, and then obviously a lot of that comes down to having a look at a work-lifestyle balance too, which we hope to achieve on the Gold Coast with the family. It's a place that we've always felt really energised by. It's very convenient there to be happy and healthy and get up early and have plenty of sun on your back. I'm really looking forward to it, as you can hear. We've thought about it a lot and looking forward to seeing where this journey takes us.
Yeah, for sure. I guess we now could probably take it back to the start and maybe tell us a little bit about how you ended up in this thoroughbred game.
Yeah, so we came from South Africa during some there's a bit of escalating violence and things, and my single mother, an amazing woman, basically packed the bags and got my sister and myself out of South Africa, and we arrived in New Zealand, and essentially sort of took up lodging with my uncle and aunt who were over here and had a little stud farm in the South Island called Valley Stud. And he had a little stallion. It was a pretty small operation, a non-commercial operation. We ran deer and sheep and the rest too, but basically just on my time on the farm there with my Uncle John Slade, I really sort of caught the bug, as they say, Emily, and really found my passion early, which was just such an amazing thing. So that was the start of it. I then obviously went through uni and had a terrific opportunity on the Sonline Scholarship to travel the world and learn from key management at some of the biggest operations around the world. Came back to New Zealand Bloodstock, spent a great year there under Patria Vella on the marketing side of the business predominantly, and a little bit of auctioneering and bloodstock agent work under Andrew Seabrook. And I just had that sort of life-changing moment as a bid spotter at Karaka one day when I was bid spotting away. I was quite a passionate bid spotter, you could say, and Gay Waterhouse walked down from the stands and said, "Young man, my name's Gay Waterhouse, I'd like to offer you a job." And essentially I said, "Listen, Gay, can I think about it?" And she said, "Don't think about it, just come." So literally for a month later I was turned up at Gay's. There wasn't actually a job there. The first job I did for her was help edit her book that was just about to be published, which was something I'd never done before, and then we helped get on the road and market her book and different things. So that was an amazing experience, just sort of scary arriving and actually having no real defined job, but then from there it just built, and obviously was her racing manager for 5 years and had an incredible time with Gay. Like the first day I got there, Emily, she sent me for a haircut because she thought I was a bit rough around the edges. She sent me to David Jones to get the new clothes, and she sent me to driving school because I drove her from the stables to the racetrack, and she said I was a very poor driver, and I went to defensive driving school as a 23-year-old with a room full of 16-year-olds, and felt like I was getting started all again. But just shows you the attention to detail of an amazing lady, and a lady that's just so much energy and had so much fun there. We won. At the time I was there, we won 3 Golden Slippers in 5 years, a Melbourne Cup, a Caulfield Cup, Magic Millions.
Wow.
We had horses like Piero and Fiorente and More Joyous, and it was just a really special time and an amazing time, and had 5 years there, like I say, and then the last 5 years I've been with Henry Field at Newgate, who, again, just someone that's been a huge influence in my life, just around his clarity of thought, his integrity in business, and his long-term view on everything. I think he's sort of one of those people that the more successful he's got, the more long-term he's looked. And I just have so much respect for the way he conducts himself and conducts business, and I've been lucky enough to ride on those coattails and build a reputation in my own right, that's allowed me to sort of be in the position I am now, and feel very fortunate.
Tell me a little bit about your degree. For a young person with a passion for the thoroughbred industry, have you found that the degree that you did has helped you throughout your career?
That's a very good question. I don't want to send people the wrong way. I think everyone's got to follow their own thing. I don't think it's helped me, but what I would say, Emily, I suppose, put it this way, it did get me on the Sonline Scholarship, right? I think that was part of the reasoning why I received that opportunity. So maybe yes, it did open some doors. But more than anything, it was just a great time of my life, Emily. You sort of get into life and work very early, and things get very serious very quickly, don't they? And I'm just so glad I actually took a gap year after school, and my mum made me go back, and I did a Bachelor of Commerce. Just on the back of her own experience, not having had a degree, and she felt it held her back through her working life, and so I did that. But the biggest benefit out of it was the friends I made. You meet a lot of like-minded people. You have a lot of fun, which is what life's all about. And I certainly would, from that point of view, I'd certainly say that it's a great thing to do.
And what about the Sonline Scholarship? Because the amount of successful people that have come through that scholarship here in New Zealand is just remarkable. What was the experience like for you on that scholarship?
Yeah, I mean, it's an incredible talent pool in New Zealand. I mean, I'm involved in a few chat groups over there with some terrific young people. So number one, I'd say, the future of the industry is in some great hands there with some great minds and great energy and the youth coming through. My experience on the Sonline Scholarship was incredible. Like just having access to those farms and those high level operations where you have access to the great minds and the great people, and then it's just a matter of what you make of it, yeah, like you say, there's been some great people through it, and there'll continue to be great people through it. So it's definitely something everyone should be looking to apply for. It's international experience. It's fun, and like anything, it's what you make of it, and the scope for what you can do on the course, and who you can meet, and the horses you can see, and where you can visit. It's there's no ceiling,
I'm still fangirling over the Gay Waterhouse moment when she comes down the stairs, and that must have been incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's you'd say about Gay that she's so. The thing you learn about her is just how she really trusts her gut and is very intuitive with people and with her horses, and she's almost more an artist than she would be a scientist. She sort of trusts her gut, and with her horses, it's just what she sees and their behaviour and their condition and in their physicality and in their growth that she's just able to change 1% here and 1% there, and she's the same with people. She's just she tells you things that you don't want to hear, but once you tick those boxes, it gives you confidence. You know what I mean? You get confidence because you feel better for it, and whether it be your for me at the time, there was time there of eating junk food and having acne, and she sent skin specialists, and she sent us to performing arts school to learn to talk to a crowd better, and
wow.
So she's happy to point out your weaknesses so that you can improve on them, and it's not an easy thing to take. Someone being critical of you in terms of what it is, no matter what it is. But it's even probably a harder thing to deliver that, right? But she's sort of very comfortable in delivering where the downfalls might be, but in a very motherly way, and hence, why her nickname is Mother at the race course at Randwick there, because she's forever, handing you a bag of nuts to keep your energy levels up, or whatever it might be, just to keep everyone ticking along. So she's just an incredible woman, and I won't hear a bad word said about her,
Tell me, would you have some advice for young people in the industry looking to move forward and progress on a similar path that you've done? Would you have any advice for them from your experience?
Yeah, I'd firstly say that the opportunities are absolutely endless, and what you make of them, I think there's you just have to see the global reach of the Australian industry, and of course New Zealand's so close that it's attracted so many people from all over the world, because there's a real culture of everyone, you get a go here, you know what I mean? Everyone gets a go, and people are happy to support young people in the game. So I'd say if you're starting out your journey, just know that everything's open to you, and that's an amazing thing to start off with. And then secondly, I would just become the master. Just be the master of what it is that you find you enjoy the most and you're most passionate about. And I think to find that, what you're most passionate about, what you most enjoy about the industry, you've got to do it all. You've got to go and spend some time with trainers. You've got to go and spend some time on stud farms and learn the life cycle of the horse, and go to auction houses and do sales with bloodstock agents, and go and work for betting agencies and form analysts. Do it all. Just absolutely experience the whole game, find out where your passion is, and then just double down on that and become the master in that field and that space.
Do you have any goals for the future for yourself? What does the future look like, or what do you hope the future looks like for yourself, your family, Kestrel Thoroughbreds?
The future goals for me, Emily, I suppose my main two things. I want to see the sport last forever, and I am very passionate about tackling the key issues and being proactive on those things, and those are pretty clear, as we know, at the moment. So I'm very keen to spend a lot of energy preserving the game and keeping it here for generations. And secondly, it's and I suppose around the same point, it's introducing people to the game, and then navigating the industry with them in a really positive way, so that we have them engaged for the long term. And I just think it's such a special game on so many fronts. The horse-human connection, it's been a bond through history. We fought wars together, we started agriculture together, we travelled together, and now we obviously race together. It's the horse-human thing. There's something very special about that. There's something very special about the races where people can get dressed up and feel good about themselves and get out and be social and just for a day or a few hours escape any stresses they might have in their lives at home. Meet a whole new group of people. There's investment opportunities, obviously, and there's just the thrill and the excitement and joy of watching your horse win. So I love the game. I'm very passionate about it. I want to see it here for a long time, and I want people just to experience the very best parts of it.
Do you get back to New Zealand much? Can we expect to see you at the Karaka sales perhaps at the end of January?
Yeah, hopefully a lot more, Emily. Toby's actually got a bit of a contingent heading over to New Zealand, which we're really excited about. And obviously with Archer Park, they've had a lot of success, winning Karaka Million Tour races in the past, and running very well Sergeant Charge and those sort of horses. So they've got a couple of horses heading over there. They love going over to New Zealand. Toby and Trent are now training with them, so Toby and Trent are going to make their way over. I'm not sure if they've been there before. They may not have. But they're going to be there this year, which is really exciting, and I suppose the real angle for them and the real opportunity, I feel, is around that Karaka Million 2-year-old race. I think we'll be there to try and buy 2-year-old sharp types, bring them to Queensland, winter them in the warmth, educate them very well, and there's plenty of nice 2-year-old races here with good prize money in the lead up to that January feature, that we can target. With a view to getting enough prize money to be up the order of entry and gain a start.
Very exciting. Well, thanks very much for chatting to us, Bruce. It's been really good and really insightful and great advice for people at home who are trying to make their way in this industry.
Yeah, thank you, Emily. I think this podcast is a terrific idea. It's, I think any sort of content and all the content we can make available to young people and old people and people, at the start of their journey in the industry and at the end of their journey in the industry. It's a terrific thing, and you guys are obviously at the forefront of that. So thank you very much for including me, and thank you for all the effort that you put into this podcast.